is Wednesday, November the 28th, the year 2012, and as usual, a lot to get to in the sports world, sports fans, so let's get it going right now. Couple news and notes from last night. It wasn't a big night in the sports world, but I did watch some college basketball. Indiana at home in Bloomington just absolutely pasted North Carolina. Indiana looks like the real deal. They are a title contender for sure, and the crowd in Bloomington is amazing. Just a great home court they have there in Bloomington. North Carolina, not a vintage North Carolina team this year. I mean, they are good, but North Carolina fans expect their teams to be great every year. This doesn't look like a great North Carolina team, so I did catch that. I also did catch the Laker game last night. The Lakers at home lose to the Indiana Pacers. The Lakers go to 7-8. Lakers stumbling, bumbling. I mean, they had 77 points last night, and Kobe had 40 of them. 40 of the 77, and Kobe was playing with the flu, and he still had over half their points. Don't like what I see at all from the Lakers. I don't like anything I see from them. So that's what I was kind of watching last night. Not too much else going on. I saw Michigan beat NC State. A couple other college basketball games. Colorado pulled out a game in overtime. Wasn't a great sports night. All right, let's get to the college picks. This is really sad. This is like the last full week of college football. After this week, all you have is Army-Navy and then your bowl games. So this is it. You have a few games this week and your conference championship games, and then college football is winding down. I keep saying it. How quick does college football go? It seems like college football is like a 2-month season. We know the NFL goes fast, college football even faster. So let's go to a few of the bigger games this week. Let's go to the picks. Let's start with the Thursday night game. Big East title on the line. Rutgers at home in New Jersey, -3 over Louisville. I like Rutgers in this game. I like Rutgers' defense. I don't like the fact that Louisville's quarterback is playing hurt. I like Rutgers to take care of business at home and shut Louisville down with their tough defense. I think Rutgers gets the job done here. I think they're going to be too tough at home. I think the quarterback injury to Louisville is going to be a big one. He will play. I don't think he's going to play well. So I like Rutgers to beat Louisville and take the Big East title on Thursday. Friday, we have the MAC title. Now, here's an interesting game. You're saying the MAC title. Why am I even talking about this? Northern Illinois playing Kent State. Both of these teams have had tremendous years. They've only lost one game each. Northern Illinois lost a 1-point game to Iowa the first game of the year. They've won every game since. And Kent State only lost to Kentucky. They've won every game. So both teams come into this game really, really playing well. Only one loss apiece. Northern Illinois is a -6-point favorite over Kent State in Detroit. I'm going to take the underdog here. I'm going to take Kent State. I'm going to say this game is close. I'm saying they're evenly matched. I'll take the points with Kent State on Friday night. All right, let's go to the Pac-12 championship game. This game, of course, is hosted by the team with the best record. That was Stanford. They're playing in Stanford on the farm. Stanford -10 over UCLA. Now, we just saw this game last week. Stanford beat UCLA at the Rose Bowl. So why would I take, UCLA in this game to win when they're playing at Stanford? I can't. Stanford beat them last week on the road. They're going to beat them here at home. Stanford -10 over UCLA on the farm in Stanford. All right, let's move on to a couple other games. I want to touch on this game. Boise State is -9 over Nevada in Reno. I'm going to take the upset here. I'm going to take Nevada +9. 2 years ago, Boise State was undefeated. They went into Reno and Nevada beat them. I think Nevada gets them again here. I don't think this is a great Boise State team. I think 9 points is too much to lay on the road. I'll take Nevada +9. Let's go to the ACC championship game in Charlotte. This is not a great game at all. I mean, Florida State -14 over a 6-6 Georgia Tech team. Florida State coming off the loss to Florida. Not a great game. How is Georgia Tech in any title game at 6-6? I say Florida State shuts Georgia Tech completely down and wins this game like 38-10. So I like Florida State -14 over a mediocre at best Georgia Tech team. Let's go to Indianapolis, the Big Ten championship game. Nebraska -3 over Wisconsin. This game is played in Indianapolis. Wisconsin, very disappointing this year. Very disappointing. They're 7-5. I've watched them a bunch of times. Not a vintage Wisconsin team. Nebraska's already beat them once. I think Nebraska's going to get them again here. I like Nebraska -3 over Wisconsin. You got the Conference USA Championship game, Central Florida at Tulsa. This is a pick'em game. I'll take Tulsa just because they're home. I have to admit, this is a toss-up. Could go either way. Now, the big game of the week. The game that saves this weekend because it's not a great college football weekend. Alabama and Georgia, SEC title game in Atlanta. Winner has the right to play Notre Dame in the Orange Bowl in Miami for the national title. Alabama 7-point favorite over Georgia. I think this game is going to be nip and tuck. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. People are not giving Georgia a chance. I think it's razor close. I think Alabama nips them barely. But I'll take Georgia plus 7. I think the spread's a little high. And I don't like to do that. I don't like to take a team and then say they're not going to win, but I'm doing it here. I'm going to take Alabama to win, razor close, but I'll take Georgia plus 7. And I will say Alabama will play Notre Dame in the national title game. So that's basically what you got going on in college football. Like I said, not a great weekend. Alabama and Georgia saves the weekend. That's the really big game of the weekend. All these other games are not too great. And then that's it for college football. Next week, Army, Navy, and then your bowl games. That's it. Tonight, if you're looking for something to watch, you have Spurs Heat, which is a really nice game. And in college basketball, Ohio State at Duke. I know it's early for NBA and college basketball. There's not much going on tonight, so I would watch Spurs Heat, Ohio State Duke. What's with the NHL? The NHL is destroying themselves with this lockout. My goodness, the NHL is just burying themselves with this lockout. They better get it together and get it together fast. All right, I wanted to touch on a few movies because we have some time. It wasn't a big night in the sports night last night, and it's not going to be one tonight. I want to touch on some movies. There's 5 movies out in the theater that I want to see right now. 5 movies. One of them is Skyfall. That's the new James Bond with Daniel Craig. I liked the first Daniel Craig with Casino Royale. I didn't like the second one. We'll see how this one is. I also want to see the movie Flight with Denzel Washington. I hear that's a sleeper movie. I want to see Argo with Ben Affleck, the true story there. I want to see that. And I want to see Lincoln, of course. You got to see the movie about Abe Lincoln. I want to keep my eye on that. And I have to admit, I have to watch The Last Twilight. I've watched all the other ones, so I have to finish it off and watch this one. I know some of you people lampoon that series, and rightfully so. You're sick of Kristen Stewart and all her nonsense. I have to admit, I want to see the last one because I've seen all the previous ones, so I have to definitely see that. If you're interested in seeing a good Dracula movie, I caught Bram Stoker's Dracula last week with Gary Oldman and Keanu Reeves. Not a bad movie. Gary Oldman is a really good actor, so if you're looking for a vampire movie with a little more bite than Twilight, you might want to check out Bram Stoker's Dracula. Not a bad movie, and Gary Oldman is just priceless as Dracula. Now, a bunch of people have asked me, what are my favorite James Bond movies of all time? What are my favorite theme songs from James Bond? I'm going to go through that real quick with you. As far as my theme songs, my favorites are Live and Let Die by Paul McCartney and Wings. Nobody Does It Better, Carly Simon. View to a Kill, Duran Duran. That is a great theme song. And I love For Your Eyes Only with Sheena Easton. I have to admit, I love when Sheena Easton does that song at the beginning of the Bond movie. So those would be my 4 theme songs that I really like. As far as my best Bonds of all time movies, I would say, and it's tough because there's a lot of Bonds. I do enjoy, most of them. I did like Casino Royale. I have to put that in my top 5. That's a more rugged Bond with Daniel Craig. It doesn't have some of the, the humor as the other ones did. So I do like Casino Royale. I'll put that in my top 5. I'll put in Goldfinger with Sean Connery. You got to put that one in there. I love Octopussy. I love From Russia with Love, also with Sean Connery. Octopussy's with Roger Moore. And I love The Spy Who Loved Me with Roger Moore as well. So I would go Goldfinger, Octopussy, From Russia with Love, Casino Royale, and Spy Who Loved Me as my top 5. There's a bunch of others I can include in there. Now, they had some bad ones too, but I would say those are my top 5 that I always seem to watch over and over again. As far as who I liked as the best Bond, let's throw out David Niven. He was only in one of them. Same thing with George Lazenby. He was only in one of them. Let's throw those 2 out. So you had 5 real Bonds. To me, the best Bond is Sean Connery. He's the classic Bond. I would say he's the best Bond of all time. I have to admit, I like Daniel Craig. I like Daniel Craig as the new Bond. He's got a more rugged style. I would put Daniel Craig up there. I would say I actually like Roger Moore. Now, I know a bunch of people that don't like Roger Moore. I actually like Roger Moore, so I would say Sean Connery 1. I would say Daniel Craig 2. I would say Roger Moore 3. 4, I would put Pierce Brosnan. I didn't think Pierce Brosnan was a bad Bond, but his scripts were so bad, it was not even funny. He had the worst scripts of any Bond, so I would put him 4. Timothy Dalton, I would put 5. His Bond seemed like a Miami Vice episode. I didn't get the whole Bond feel with him. I almost felt like I was watching like a remake of Miami Vice with him. So to me, Sean Connery's the best Bond. I would say Daniel Craig second. I would put Roger Moore third, although a lot of people wouldn't. So that's basically where I stand on all the Bond movies. You know, they are a lot of fun to watch. You always have the gadgets and the stunts and the action scenes. So definitely check out Skyfall if you're in the movie theater this weekend, along with those other movies I mentioned, like Flight with Denzel, Argo with Ben Affleck, Lincoln looks like another good movie. Twilight might not be for you, but definitely check out Bram Stoker's Dracula, either on DVD or sometimes you can get it on the free pay-per-view or on the pay-per-view on your TV. Definitely check out those movies. So that's all we got for you today. Tomorrow, wall-to-wall NFL. We're going to go through all the picks, all the games. We're going to break down all the games. So you guys, stay safe, have a great day, and I will talk to you tomorrow, Thursday. Take care.